1, 2, roll some dice. Now we'll do that one. That one.
Okay.
This is Wise and Nerdy or Fatherhood.
Okay.
What a
no,
jerk.
It's not intentional. It was. I just bumped it. I don't. You know, I don't remember what these are. Here. You know, you could record one with your voice on it, Joe, and we could have. Yep. Washington. No, Joe. No, I'm back. You turn yours off.
You're listening to Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood.
No.
Wise and Nerdy, where fatherhood meets.
That's right. I muted you for the podcast because I control the airwaves. Did you guys miss me? Did everybody miss me?
What a jerk.
It's good to be a guest on your own show every once in a while. How dare you treat me like this? I'm your guest tonight on the Joe Show. Yeah. Didn't even put out an announcement that I was going to be on tonight. See if I shared like and all that on these videos. But how's it going, Joe?
It's going pretty good. You ready for the weekend?
It is. No, I am not. It is Atlanta Comic-Con this weekend. Joe's coming up. As of this recording, tomorrow. You sound like you're going to say something.
Well, I'm just saying, their official name is Atlanta Comic Convention. Because if they call it a Comic Con, they might get sued, like Salt Lake Comic Con did.
Yes, and the previous owner called it ATL Comic Con. And since they sold, they changed the name. But yeah,
Probably just to avoid litigation, because I think it's San Diego Comic Con is the one that's so happy about the term Comic Con.
Well, and that's the thing. There's this COMICON, Comic Con. Don't you love this nerdy kind of intro stuff that we're doing? Whereas like it's ATL Comic Con before, but with a C, comic space. It's so dumb, people. Why do you really think? I answered my own question. So I was like, do you really think people are confused a smaller, couple thousand people visiting Atlanta as a San Diego Comic Con? But yeah, people are dumb. People are really
never underestimate how dumb people are.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that, sir. That is true. Hey, how did Clint do last week? Clint Hall sat in, and for
awesome.
Not really ever listening to our show, it sounds like he did a great job.
Yeah, and he absolutely loved the randomness, the dice, and it flowed well. He came to play, and it was fun.
Very cool. Maybe that should be the how do everybody loves coming and playing with us. When somebody listens, they seem to love the show. How do we get people to listen to the show or watch the show and show the F up? Because I'm so lonely. Because honestly, this is one of my favorite of all time. This is one of the favorite shows I've ever done. And it's a blast. And, even when I'm not here, it's okay. It's all right. It's a cool show. It's solid. You do. See, there's no random kid chatting tonight. I quit, Joe. Let's just end the show.
You went away for a while, and now people just aren't here. They miss you.
If they missed,
and I didn't do the guest announcement, so they didn't know.
Did you do one for Clint?
I did.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Do you even follow our own Facebook?
Yeah, I only go and post videos on it if I need to. Yeah, of course I follow. I make sure to follow all the pages I'm on. Like Be Awesome Together at one point had 2 followers. It was me and Tyra, and that was it. Which I need you to go follow Be Awesome Together on Facebook, Joe. So, all right, we have is it this button? Nope, that is not that button.
Are you looking for this button?
Question of the week.
I thought I had something similar, but yes, let's do that button.
All right. The question of the week is, what is the first movie you remember seeing at the theater?
I always struggle with this one because, I wasn't taken to the theater for a while. I think I was 11 or 12 before I went. But I distinctly having a memory of an imagination. Okay, follow me here. Of being in the car, coming home from where we lived, the movie theater was away. It was away, like an hour away from where we lived. So it's a special thing to go up there and see a movie, whatever. And this is back in the 80s. And so driving home, I'm just sitting back in the car and that's it. And I just distinctly have this memory of looking out the window with all these trees on the side of the highway and all this other stuff and picturing basically sandworms from Dune, right? Now, Dune came out probably before I was old enough to go see it. I don't recall ever actually seeing it because, I mean, as an adult, I went, this one with Patrick Stewart would have been, I think. Because I don't think the next Dune came out until I was definitely an adult, like on Sci-Fi. Then those Dunes came out. But I don't know where I've gotten sick, but I just pictured like sandworms going through the trees, doing the big jump and things. Nobody can verify that. My dad doesn't remember me going to a movie, and it would have been with them. You know, my cousin, I don't know. So the one that I claim that I absolutely remember going to is Batman with Michael Keaton. That was quite possibly the first ever in theater movie I ever watched. That was 1989, so I would have been roughly 12 years old. 11-ish, 11 and a half when it came out. And yeah, I've been a Batman fan ever since. So there's that. What about you, sir?
So the first time I remember going to the theater, we went to a double feature. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what the first movie that we saw that night was. It would have been late November, early December of 93. And the second movie, though, was We're Back, a dinosaur story. Do you remember that one at all?
Yeah, kind
Vaguely.
of. It was not good from what I can remember.
It was fine.
It was no Land Before Time.
It was not. It definitely was not.
But it's probably better than Good Dinosaur, which was not good at all.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I remember there being like hardly anybody in the theater because it was a double feature. I'm pretty sure we were there pretty late. And so a kids movie, super late, double feature, there was like nobody in that theater at all. But we watched it. We had fun with it. Like I've said several different times on the podcast, watching movies was one of my dad's favorite ways to spend time as a family, to have family time. And so, yeah, I saw all kinds of stuff in theaters. For a while there, I was collecting movie theater stubs. I had a little box full of movie theater stubs that I had collected of different movies that I had gone to. And I don't know why I stopped collecting them. I mean, it's not like they're going to ever be worth anything, but it would be more like memories of different times that I had spent with my dad. Well, with my family in general, but I always associate watching movies as a family as movies with my dad. But yeah, so that is one of the earliest memories that I have. We had a drive-in theater in our town as well, and a few years later, one of the first movies I remember seeing in the drive-in theater was Twister.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And we would take our truck and we would put an air mattress or a futon mattress in the back, and the younger kids most of the time would fall asleep because I've got a couple of siblings younger than me, and if they fell asleep, they fell asleep. And seatbelt laws were a little more loosey-goosey back then, so
you drove home with them laying in the back on the futon?
Sleeping in the back on the futon, yeah.
Yeah, no, things definitely went on. I've definitely been in the back of a truck when I shouldn't have, but knowing what I know now as a paramedic, laws are not important. It's the effects at what can happen that's important.
But we have a bunch of speak pipes tonight that are answering this question of the week. So let's go ahead and get started with that.
So the question of the week is the first movie. I remember seeing Jaws because my parents, like you and Clint were talking about, did not believe that um, scary movies would be apparently affecting me at all. Um, watching a giant shark mangle people. Fortunately, I live dead center in the United States, so no worry about going to the beach and giant sharks attacking. So I guess it really didn't matter a whole lot, except the scene where the body of the girl, the scuba diver, she comes out. Man, that messed with me. Had some nightmares over that one.
That's at the beginning.
But other than that, yeah, my dad was also a horror fan and watched many, many of those as a kid. And yeah, I had some nightmares, but hopefully it made me a better person because you're right. Kids are much more resilient than we give them credit for.
And
That's
he
true.
still doesn't swim at the beach.
I've seen events where they will put Jaws on an outdoor screen, but the people are in a lake or something watching it. I'm like, nope. I'm not doing that.
I mean, Jaws can't be in a lake.
No, well, bull sharks, they could swim up if it's connected to a river or something.
Okay, I thought you were saying a new swear word for a second.
No, bull
You're
sharks.
like, bull sharks, Charles. Bull
They're-
sharks.
They're one of the few sharks that can survive in both saltwater and freshwater, and they've been known to swim up rivers from the ocean. So,
Okay.
if you needed a little bit of nightmare fuel for the summer, there's some.
Bull sharks, I don't think attack people that much. It doesn't matter. I my dad at most in my life, we were raised by my mom to be big readers. My dad didn't really read, and in later in life he read a few autobiographies or something from.
Hopefully, he
military
at least read the Bible since he was a preacher.
Okay, he read the. Well, there's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee. It's a good question, Joe. But he read the book Jaws when it first came out. And it like kept him awake all night. Like it is apparently it's a short paperback novella or whatever. And he just couldn't. And then after watching the movie, especially, he will not go in the ocean. I was like, whatever, man. It's crazy. What's next? Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, fun for some people, I suppose. Looking up some of the statistics when it comes to how close the percentage of people have been to sharks and not known about it and whatnot. They really don't attack people nearly as often as people would think they would,
Right.
especially with how close they are more often than not. So,
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. We've got a few more here.
Hey, Miss Underscore again. For the question of the week, what is your first movie you remember seeing at the theater? I know we went to the theater when I was a kid. I can't honestly remember much. My memory's not very good, I know that. My first core memory for a theater experience was going to see The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring with my family. My parents had read the books long ago. I believe my dad and my brother were reading them together at night. And so they knew kind of what the story was, and I had no idea what it was when we went to go see it. And even though Lord of the Rings is a super long movie,
Story
I
about walking.
enjoyed the entire thing. I loved the character development. I just loved the storyline. And I remember at the end, I asked my dad, I said, Dad, please tell me they destroy the ring in the end. I've got to know. I can't wait for that long. There's more movies coming. And he spoiled it for me, which I was grateful for at the time. But it is still one of my absolute favorite movie series. And that is my first core memory of going to the movie theater and enjoying a movie.
As a Mormon, were you looking at the movie going, man, I wish I could go places?
What? My wife has traveled the world all over the place, to be honest. I've been out of the country once to Canada, but she's been all over the world.
That's only technically out
Exactly.
Of the country.
That's only tech.
Yeah.
I left the country on a technicality.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like she's lived in South Africa. She's visited
I'm gonna
China,
cut all
and
this out of the
Australia,
show
and New
so nobody
Zealand.
knows.
Oh.
That my aunt went to see that in the theaters and she didn't realize it was 3 books. And so when it gets to the end where they've been walking and walking and walking, and then they just end the movie, she's like, "What is going on?" I mean, she yelled. It's like, yeah, you got 2 more years of this, lady. So,
Oh yeah, such good movies though. They came out real good. Fantastic. All right, we've got a few more here.
I only watched the Wild Robot in the theater.
And who'd you watch that with?
Mom.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild Robot's an interesting choice. That sounded like old Malachi there.
No, that was.
Happened.
What?
I literally no, like you disappeared, and I was like, "What?" And then it pulled me off the screen, and you came back. That was weird, man.
All right, no, that was Jebediah.
That's what I meant to say. Jebediah.
Yep.
So. I had not read Wild Robot. I saw a few of the previews.
It's super short.
That movie was edgy, man. That's an interesting choice for old Jebby.
It has its darker moments, especially with the possums.
Some of the things that get said by the robot. It's like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's some death in this thing. That's yeah.
Yep.
You know, I was like,
there sure is.
Why does this movie go so hard? It's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
And the funny part is the movie is about as long as the audiobook. Like that's how short the story is. It's a short story. So
that was an interesting one.
All right.
But because Jeb's got to see that, now I get to take him to see a movie of my choice. Yeah, it's a good drunk uncle. We're gonna all right, what else we got?
My other two boys wanted to pipe in as well, so let's hear what they had to say.
The first movie I remember seeing in theaters is Wreck-It Ralph 2. All I remember is sharing popcorn with family. Brought to you by Bob.
Brought to you by Bob. Did you tell him to say that?
Nope.
Oh, okay, Bob. You're campaigning hard to be the favorite. You're campaigning hard. You might get elected favorite this year. Keep up the good work, guys. All right. He didn't even remember the movie. He just remembers having to share the popcorn.
Yep. Well, and he's probably watching right now because the last couple of weeks they've actually stayed up late and watched us live. So. He's probably sitting there grinning and telling his brothers, "I'm the favorite."
No. You're all running a good campaign to be the favorite. The elections have not happened yet, but Bob's in the lead, I will say.
All right, and here we go with my oldest, Malachi.
The first movie I remember seeing at the theater was Wreck-It Ralph 2. That's all I remember.
That's all he remembers is that he saw it.
So y'all cheaped out and took both the boys.
A wild Bob has appeared and fallen to the ground.
All right. Well, now your campaign's dropping in value, sir.
Your poll numbers have dropped.
I'm totally taking Gemini to see the re-release of Dusk Till Dawn. I'm just saying.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jaws.
No, I want to give him a real fun movie.
We're gonna go watch that on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. It'll be great. And then we can be like, we got a bigger boat.
All right. Any other speak pipes?
No, that's it for the question of the week.
All right. So when you say they, Cody Fingers, came out of the woodwork, you really mean to say you seeded it with the yards, which I'm not opposed to at all.
They wanted to come down and record stuff, so they came down and recorded stuff. And my wife called in because she wanted to call in.
They sounded better. That's what I'm saying.
Roll that dice.
Why aren't you obeying me, Obsbot?
Mrs. Underscore, you might want to trade in the iPhone 4 and get something a little more modern. Just saying.
All right.
I know how Joe treats you. It's okay.
It's your favorite. Your absolute favorite.
Did you even
Waka waka, bad dad jokes.
look? You're dead. You're not even on the show. I don't want to hear that voice. Don't talk to me, Kurt.
Oh,
Don't talk to me,
wow.
Kurt.
Wow. Wow.
Look, he gave me so much grief in life, and now I still get it? That's not right. That's all I'm saying. That's
should've
not
called
right.
in sick.
God, Joe.
Oh, I'm just waiting for you to stop your
Stop your
yapping.
yapping. Yeah. So, Joe, did you even do bad dad jokes last week?
Yeah, of course we did. But we've got some that are specifically for you this week.
Charles, I've really missed you. And I kind of reserve my bad dad jokes for the times when you're on. And this is no exception. So this
Don't put
time,
yourself out for
because
me.
I know you've been working so hard, I'm going to make this a more relaxing bad dad joke segment. Enjoy. Why did the Clydesdale give the miniature pony a glass of water? Because he was a little horse. Did you hear about the restaurant that was opened on the moon? It had great food, but no atmosphere.
Yeah.
Why did the coffee have to file a police report?
Oh, you met
Because it got mugged. Why shouldn't you buy anything with Velcro on it? Because it's a total ripoff.
And Random Kid says Devo is the best.
There's Random Kid. Thank you, Random Kid. I was like, man, nobody watches the show. Nobody likes me anymore. Nobody talks to us. And Random Kid's here. Devo is if I were to miss you, Joe, and then I would just feed you the food you hated, did I really miss you? I'm just saying. All right.
I mean, if you were starving, I'd feed you what you hated.
Roll.
You did. You did, sir.
Oh, you're so dramatic.
Uh-huh.
How do I?
All right. This one I pulled because it's going to be a little bit of a shameless plug because Daddy needs to get paid. And so that is I tell you why you should come pay him. But it's how do I become more confident in front of people? Now, that could mean a few different things, right, Joe? Sometimes people just get nervous around other people, which is one of my little triggers. I don't know. I've never, for the most part, I've never tried to be intimidating, and I can gauge to the company I'm with. So if people get overwhelmed quickly or like little kids, I can tone it down, right? I take efforts to be quiet. But when somebody's just nervous around people, they just can't look in the eye and stuff. I don't know how to help you with that. That sounds like a psychological thing going on. But if it is more of, I don't want to be nervous if I have to give a presentation. I don't want to be nervous if I get called. Like we're going into a con this weekend, and somebody wants to get up to the microphone and ask a question. Yeah, it's a Random Kid. Look at you, Random Kid. You become more confident by taking courses from Charles and Wyzant. That's Wyzant. Absolutely. I have a public speaking class up there. But so let's talk about it, Joe. Let's not a class so much that I will plug. And I'll probably cut part of this video out to promote it. But what about you, Joe? Did you ever have a problem not being as confident in front of people?
So I guess it depends on the
I'm
context.
glad you said that. So I got some tips. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, so like there's different avenues and different contexts for where you would be in front of somebody. Like
Right.
I've spoken at church, I've spoken at school, I've spoken at conventions, at things like that. And there's various levels of comfort and confidence in those moments. And definitely as a teenager, I struggled, but part of that was probably due to a lack of preparation, to be completely blunt, because
Okay.
like when you're talking about presenting at school, if you're not confident in the material, that's going to come across in the presentation, and you won't be confident in the presentation itself. And so a lack of being prepared with the material can come across as an overall lack of confidence because, well, quite frankly, you're not confident. Um, but in things where I feel I've got plenty to talk about, or there's not set in stone restrictions or things like that, I feel quite comfortable talking in front of people. Like even at church these days, I used to dread talking in church, but really,
Tell me about that. Tell me about when you were dreading speaking in church.
Well, again, it came from a lack of preparation attitude, whereas at this point I've served a mission trip. I've spent a lot of time with the gospel in general, and so I'm pretty comfortable in most topics when it comes to church topics. But just in addition to all of that, just I've done it so many times now that there's nothing, it's not new anymore. And so a lot of times it's
a good one. Yeah.
It's lack of experience, lack of preparation. I think those are the main two things that hinder people from being confident speakers.
I agree 100%. And I'm a big proponent of Toastmasters. I like that group. I don't remember if I had to pay much of a fee. Sometimes it's free. Sometimes it's very affordable if there's a fee. But the group, because it's an ongoing thing, and you get your own Toastmasters book. So everybody's at different levels working through the books. And so they'll have different nights, theme nights, or whatever. There's always like an icebreaker. It's wholly designed to be a supportive atmosphere, to give constructive criticism, like here's what you did great, and here's what I would like you to work on, type of deal, because we're all working on something together in that atmosphere. And I really enjoyed it. And there were some school teachers there. There was an insurance salesman there. I was just trying to get more refined to be on stage and get away from the rambling that, John, you think you get the rambling Charles now. I've worked a lot. Now I do, especially before the show. It is just hang out and talk time. But I've worked hard on all of that. But practice makes perfect, and that's what goes on with the process through Toastmasters that I went through, and then everything else I've done. Like trying to remember the first celebrity that I moderated. That might have been Austin St. John, Red Ranger from Power Rangers. So here's let's talk about that one. So I prepared. I went and looked at the Wikipedia page. I went and looked at IMDb. I'm pulling out things to make sure I have something to ask that I find interesting. And that's the key. If you're having to give a speech, you've got to find a way to make it interesting. Because in that 10 speech book, and I completed the book and then just didn't go on to the next level. I had other things going on in life then. But I gave the 10 different speeches. And some of them I just didn't care about. But you have to find something that makes you care there. I personally like to throw in a joke to open things up. That's what I like to do. So I try to make myself laugh there. And get ready.
I think that also helps you gauge the room as well by trying to start with some kind of humor. Because you never know how the audience is going to be receptive. And so it'll help shift the tone or set the tone for the rest of the speech or the discussion or the talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And it does. Okay. It does depend on the type of presentation, what reason you're in front of people. If you've got to read, I know a lot of churches start with, can you read this passage today? Can you ask for do the offering prayer, that kind of thing, little things like that. Yeah. You kind of even need to practice your prayer. But isn't it supposed to be to God? Not when you're standing in front of people. God hears you all the time. He's cool, man. But when you're standing there, you need to make sure you don't do the whole daddy God filming kind of thing. You need to. That's a church thing.
Well, in that respect, it also depends on what religion you are, because there are very specific criteria for different religions,
Yeah.
and you need to be very specific in your prayers in different religions.
So again, practice, practice, practice.
Mm.
Now, that's the prep, right? I'm thinking of two different speeches I gave. Well, one was a hosting, it wasn't a speech, but the other one was a speech, my graduation speech, which is done in front of my dad's church, whatever. And then the Austin St. John thing. Well, you have to be what you really got to do is practice being okay with yourself. And that means finding a circle of friends who will give you grief, but then prop you up, right? Because you need to get punched in a safe space, not literally, hopefully, but you need to, you need to have all the fears.
Don't get punched in your safe places. Those are
This is my no safe place. So, but you know what I'm saying, Joe, it is growing up in the church, it was too easy to go in and be earnest and be well-meaning, and I would want to sing a song, and I hadn't practiced enough or whatever, and it wasn't. But everybody, oh, you did great. That's not a safe place. If they only hate you or they only love you, it's not. You need to be with somebody that you're like, okay, I'm gonna boom, 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 and then you need them to heckle you a little bit. You need them to drop things and distract things, because
See, I really like your distinction there on a safe place, because a safe place does not mean a place without criticism.
right.
A safe place is a place where people want the best for you.
There you go. And that is honestly, that's where coaching comes in. You know, if you pull me as a coach on Wise Ants and hire me, then that's exactly it. Is I'm here for your benefit, and I want to make it the best thing for you. That's how I do everything, honestly. And that's the thing. It does take confidence to get on a stage or get in front of people. It takes a lack of ego to do that. And those are two opposite things. The ego is making it all about me, but you got to make it about the show. You got to make it about what you're doing. So the speech I gave as a homeschooler graduating, I hated it. I lied through the whole thing. I hated it. And I was like, oh, I've enjoyed, thank you for all the support from the church. I didn't know half the people in that church. They didn't know me. It was a dark time. I was a very angry teenager. But I wrote this speech and I basically read it. And everybody, they were tearing up. I mean, it showed me the power of manipulation. Because if you do a great speech with great emotion that doesn't say anything, you get elected president of the United States, apparently.
Well,
but that's every president. That's every president.
That's yeah. We have had plenty of presidents who have been very good at giving speeches, and throughout history, politicians in general. It is well known that Hitler was a fantastic person
master orator,
at giving speeches, and whipping people up into frenzies to do unspeakable things. But that doesn't just because he used his powers for evil does not mean he wasn't a very skilled speech giver.
And so I don't know how to follow Hitler, but I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna put a public service announcement. You're not supposed to follow Hitler.
This is why I've been cut off the show for a while now. I get it. I understand my mistake, Joe. I apologize. And that is true. You can, the power of words. And I realized in life I want to be authentic. And when I became authentic, man, the mess ups don't matter. The distractions don't matter. Being able to keep yourself on track, and playing video games will help with this. How, you asked, Joe? Thanks for asking.
My eyebrow rose, and I should have vocalized because the people on the podcast, they can't see that eyebrow going up. How does playing video games help you become a more confident speaker?
Thank you for asking. Of all with the 15,000 people who listen to the podcast, they could show up and see the eyebrow, or go to WNN Clips, right? It's Wise and Nerdy Clips was WNN Clips, and just get those little hot moments. Hey, TikTok, we'll talk about that later. Because it's multitasking, right? You're playing, it can be Mario Kart, it can be just about any kind of video game. Something goes wrong and you got to adjust. So what you want to do is maybe practice your speech and record it, and then play it back while you're playing a video game and you're listening to it, right? because your brain is adjusting to the different things that are happening on the screen. It doesn't matter what's happening. You're adjusting while you're processing. And there's two things you can that are psychological principles. I'm only going to talk about the one. Listening does play into this, but it's the visual of that's why we yawn. If you see somebody yawn, your brain yawns. If you see somebody drink water, you might become thirsty. So I'm not looking at you, Jesse. I've defeated some of the tactics, my friend. But it's a trick. Our brain can't always distinguish what we see being imaginary, like on TV or whatever, versus what's really going on. Dang it, I'm about to yawn, you jackbutt.
And I didn't even really yawn, but you saw it.
I watched. Let me tell you. Go ahead.
And your advice was completely different than what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to be talking about speaking in confidence to bring order from the chaos that are these teenagers that are speaking about unspeakable horrors that they want to do to your family members. You know, I had no idea where you were going to go there. I thought you were going to marshal the crew, band of brothers.
Where did
take
all
it
this
all down.
darkness come from? Jebediah, blink if you feel
soul.
safe. Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand the horrors of teenagery. But
then you haven't played enough online video games with voice chats.
Oh no! Don't go online while you're doing this. Play something local on your local machine or your phone, okay? Because you're using two different parts of your brain, and that's important. You're listening and it's internalizing, and your brain is going, okay, I hear my voice, I'm giving the speech. You're feeling like you're giving the speech. But you're also, with your eyes, doing the things on the screen and your hands, and you're adjusting. And why that's important is go ask, well, I don't even think it's a Southern Baptist preacher thing, Joe. It's probably every church. About the time they get right to their point, wah, crying baby. or somebody's getting up to go to the bathroom, or you got the wooden pews and somebody lets one rip. Right, boys? Right, boys? You heard it. That's why you go to kids' church.
The pews, they have such a good amplifying feature.
They really do. So what you do is you have to. So that's one thing, right? And then the other thing I'll talk about real quick, because I feel like we're going long, is we might make this a series. We need to actually teach something about how to eye. That's what it's designed for. We've never quite gotten there, but I think, Joe, between you and me, we can start really teaching some things for dads and people out of this. So I'll leave it at that one. Practice distractions by recording your speech, and you're going to hate it. Number one, because almost everybody hates their own voice the first time they hear it. I think I was the exception to that rule because everybody else in this world I've met
never shut up.
Right? Everybody else. I mean, I hate it when I can't hear my own voice, to be honest with you. And I tap my headphones for the podcast people. But it's don't worry about that. You have to get used to it because you hear it differently than other people hear it. But you might hear, like I did when I started recording mine, it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I did so many fillers. Then you can focus on editing that in your brain. You just practice. Then you just got to go do it and power through and go, okay, that was an experience. And that brings me right back around to preparing for Austin St. John. His plane arrived late. He flew in that morning. He had the first panel. His plane landed late, getting his bags, getting into the car, getting from the airport to the Georgia World Congress Center. We were 15 minutes late starting. So I didn't get to talk to him before and connect with him like I try to do with everybody.
And that makes a big difference when you're on a panel, because you've got a very brief window usually to build a little bit of a repertoire with them and to feel them out and see how to jive with them.
Yeah, and I prepped the questions, which is a good thing because this is my first year at that con. It was the first year they did the con. And I'm thinking, Red Power Ranger. Even though it's like 11 a.m. on a Friday morning, which is not when you put a Red Power Ranger. Unless you're Dragon Con, that's a whole different ballgame. Anyway, auditorium can fit like 2,000 people. 20 people showed up. It was empty. They had their mics. All the speakers were pointed out at the concrete walls. So even at the microphone, we couldn't hardly hear the question. What could go wrong pretty much went wrong, just about.
Oh, boy.
And I had 3 more interviews to do that weekend, hosting, moderating, whatever you call it, that weekend. And like, okay, well, that one was rough. Let's see if it gets better. And it did. So that's my advice right now of how you get more confident. And we focus on speaking. But, Joe, we need to think about how to get more confident in future episodes, how to get more confident and just being in front of people. And we'll put the call out. If you're listening to the show, you know somebody. You're listening, but you know somebody like this who just, I don't mean social anxiety. We're not doctors. We can get a psychiatrist to come on and maybe talk to us about some of that stuff. But that whole, if you get called upon to speak. Now, we're from the South. In public, in the South, it's, hey, would you say the blessing? Would you say the prayer? Which I hate for various reasons, and it's none of them are religious based. But if you get called on to say something, you got to give a presentation. We can help you feel more confident. And Joe,
Yeah.
tell me about the worst one that you went through. Go ahead, tell your thought, but I want you to finish the segment with your story.
So my thought is, the way you build confidence with almost any skill is you have to be willing to be bad at it first.
Yes.
Because if you don't even have enough confidence to start, or at least be willing to start, then you're not going to build any kind of expertise to be confident in it. So you've got to be willing to be bad at it first. Now, as far as stuff that went poorly, it's got to be one of the talks that I gave at church. Because what they do, at least at my church, is they'll give you a topic that you're supposed to talk on. They give you a time limit that, hey, this is about how long you're supposed to take. And I remember when I was a teenager, they asked me to speak for like 10 minutes. And I don't remember what the topic was, but when you're nervous, even if you've got stuff prepared and in front of you, you tend to speak faster than you normally would. Like, one of the first things that people will tell you when you're doing any kind of public speaking, slow it down. Slow it down, because you're speaking faster than you think you are. And so at home, when I practiced it, it was 8 to 10 minutes. When I actually got up on the pulpit and was talking, it was like 5 minutes. And so I got done and I sat down. And what that ends up doing, at least at our church, is it means that the next speakers have to try to, because what they normally do at my church is, if they have a youth speaker, a teenage speaker, they put them first, and they tell the people afterwards, they're like, okay, the youth speaker's supposed to take 10 minutes. If they take 10 minutes, yours is going to take about 25 minutes, but plan for 25 to 30. And so they want the adult to be able to create a buffer, because they know that a lot of the youth will go shorter than what they were asked to do.
You're right. Everybody ramps up that speed. And that's the other thing that Toastmasters does, is you have a minimum time you have to hit, a target time, and a long time. And then over the long time, and it'd be like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. If you go over 8 minutes, depending on the situation, right? So yeah, like that. And I do, in most cases, tend to watch the clock and get excited, and I'll catch it, and I'll bring it down, and I'll slow down intentionally, and I can feel, except the first time we did Wise and Nerdy at Dragon Con, it was just, my mind was all over the place with the bits, and that is the thing too. As good as you can get about something, when you change it up, when you change up the emotions on it, for me, I was afraid people weren't going to like Wise and Nerdy. We were brand new at doing that particular show, and I really liked it. And Joe was he was an okay friend. He could have been a better friend and been like, just tapped me. It's like, hey man, I want to tell more stories, because you realized it was going fast. I didn't. So, but yeah, it's okay.
True. You were cruising. But we had a good audience that round, particular one. And so when it came to bad dad jokes, we had a lot of bad dad jokes. That was a lot of fun. And we also had a lot of people participating in the What Are You Nerding Out About segment, so for a lot of you haven't had the privilege of seeing us live, but we usually have the audience talk about what they're nerding out about, especially about the convention that we're at, or other things that we've been talking about. And so that particular time, we were able to fill the time quite easily because we had great audience participation. And that's something that that's another skill that you build, and again, it depends on the format, because a lot of formats, they don't lend for audience participation, but in ones that do, that is a great skill. Being able to read the room and work with the room is a huge skill in public speaking when the format allows for it.
Absolutely. So let's roll some dice. And oh, I hit the wrong button. Let's see this. There you go. My Wise Ant code is wiseant.com/tutor/help others be awesome. I may change that later, but right now that's where I'm at.
All right. And we've got
Parliament of Papas.
Papa! It's good. Now, okay. How do you become more confident in front of people? You add some inflection. Papa! To be silly. Be over the top. That's so good. That was
it took you half a second to realize. I love it.
Was that Bob?
That was Malachi.
Malachi. I couldn't. The voice. I was expecting it to be wrong. I was getting my harassment ready in my brain here. Okay. So Joe has actually more or less shaped this into a better segment. At some point, we really do want not some point. We want it now, but at some point, you'll actually step up. We didn't do it, Joe.
Oh.
We didn't do the daddy-os. I'm so disappointed in myself on that one. So I even typed it. I typed in the YouTube description, daddy-os. But we want you. Oh, okay, never mind. We want the daddy-os to ask us something to solve, right? It's not always a butt-face question. The first one that really spawned this on was what was better? Bluey versus Lazy Town, I think. No, there was one. There was one about teaching your kids about Die Hard or something. I don't remember, but it was really cool. And we went back here. I had the debate, and it was a fun debate. We did another one at the con that was like Fallout versus Mario. It was, we want your input and your questions on. Let us decide your fate, right? Yeah, absolutely. wiseandnerdy.com/calldad. And in the meantime, we have these butt face ones from Reddit. This is, would I be the butt face if I constantly corrected the spelling of my daughter's name? My 39 female daughter, my daughter, 11 female. So the daughter's 11, mom's 39, has a name that I feel is pretty common without any unusual spellings or anything. While she was growing up, people would often get the last letter of her name wrong, and I wouldn't say anything. If they noticed and apologized, I said it was no big deal. Not her actual name, I think, but think Christine and constantly being called Christina. Think Charles and constantly called Chris, okay? I don't want God, I get that all the time. Over the last few... Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, no, my boys get that all the time as well, with their nicknames. One of them, their nickname ends in a Y. At least that's how we spell it.
Mallard?
But constantly people are trying to spell it with an IE at the end. And so he...
Okay.
We
but
don't
it's a
correct him,
nickname.
he does. It is.
It's a nickname.
It is.
It'd be like spelling Joe, Joiugh or something. I don't know.
But yeah, no, like, and there are some common spellings that are different, like Sean, SHAWN versus SEAN. And that those are the two more common ways, and then I'm sure there's plenty of that was the first one I listed.
Okay. Then SHAWN. Sorry.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, no, I fully yeah. Well, let's finish this up.
So, daughter's name is Christine, and we call Christine
not the actual name. That's the example they gave. But yes.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't care enough to read that part, Joe. So good for you. Over the last few months, I've also noticed that it's almost constant issue. She's asked not to go by her full name because it bothers her when people get it wrong. I even filled in an electronic request to have her library card, and they still spelled it wrong. Okay. Here, I don't even think we need to read more to this. You're here, John. I'm gonna ask you. I've got some real serious road to go down here, but what's your advice to mom? Is she the butt face if she constantly corrects people on the spelling of her daughter's name?
No. And this is even different than the instance that I gave, because at least the spelling was different, but the pronunciation would be the same. For these, it's completely different pronunciation. Christine versus Christina, it's sufficiently different. I would get upset as well. And especially I would get upset because, and this is later on, they talk about how the daughter is upset and doesn't even want to go by her full name because of it. And so this is a simple courtesy. This is them being rude, in my opinion. That they are not getting it right, and that it happens so frequently. And I am curious what the actual name is in this instance. But yeah, no, not
so
cool.
one of the things that she says here, I worry about being too forceful over an issue that may be insignificant. It is not insignificant. Our names help shape our identity as an early age, right? We are called by our name. That's how we build things around it. And then it becomes our brand, if you will, right?
Yep.
And it is something that's so core to being human, is what you're
And that's
called.
why his name is Charles and not Chuck.
I was going to use that example a little bit. There's every once in a while. I'm gonna make sure there's extra ants in the studio tomorrow just for you, though. But every once in a while, somebody's earned it, but it still irks me. But man, it really pisses me off when you don't know me and you change it. So I start calling you by the wrong name, or at first I'll correct it. And there's been people like Chuck, I'm like Charles. I'll just say it, Charles. And if they ask me, can I call you? Nope. They ask me what I go by, I say Charles. That's it. It's or if you really are feeling froggy, you say Rock God, and that'll make me happy. But it's not just a spelling of it. It is the misstatement of it. The library card. Your whole job is to read, and you couldn't read the form.
Well, and the fact that she went in and filled it out electronically, which means for whatever reason, their system transcribed it incorrectly. That whoever went in and manually did it transcribed it incorrectly.
Mom's a little slow on the uptake and misspells her daughter's name all the time. Possibly. But here's where I want to go deep on it, because it is core. You are damaging your child by not making a big deal about this. And I'm not saying go in and carrying it up and rage out and show your butt and get arrested. I am saying model the behavior with your kid. Say, this is important. No, her name's not Christina. It is Christine. And and don't let them dismiss it. Oh, I didn't mean it. Doesn't matter what you meant. You need to give her the human courtesy of calling her by her name. And I'll make it awkward. I'll make it my oldest daughter chooses to be awkward. It drives me up the wall. I hate it because she won't engage in little things like that. If her name is Crosby, and if somebody called her, I don't even know how you mess that one up, because it's only like one way to say it. But Crosby, don't. And she was like, "Oh,
you done messed up, Ron."
Stay, yeah, exactly. Stay on the line. Just say, "No, my name is Crosby." Just say that.
But
in the story.
Now, I do take some issue with people who change the name just to be, oh, it's so unique. Like they take a normal name. Ooh. And they completely change the spelling, but then it's Ashley, but it's spelt ASSHLEIGH.
Leaf emoji.
Yeah. I'm like, what? And so I think I get that they want them to be unique, but
give them a unique name. I got you one worse, dude. I got you one worse. Jason. Pronounced Jason. Jacyn. Or Jaycyn or something like that.
Yeah, Jaycon or something.
Something like that. Someone name tags, oh, how do you say that? Jason. I'm like, oh, your parents are stupid. I just said that out loud. Oh, your parents are. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, because you don't hear that. You hear Jason. Of course, your name's gonna get misspelled your entire life because your parents were meth heads. I don't know.
But this is not one of those instances. At least that's
No.
not how she's portrayed it.
But you are being a butt face right now by even asking, would I be? She's 11. It is really late to get started on this empowerment, if you will. Because here's the bottom line, Joe. If you won't pay me the courtesy, the basic human courtesy to try to get my name right. I get it if you deal with a ton of Chris's or whatever. Charles does not sound like Chris, okay? But fine. But at least try and apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. If you can't give me that courtesy, I know exactly who you are. And I can't deal with you. And I'll tell you that. It's like after the third time you call me Chuck or messing it up, I'm like, we're about to be done with this conversation. And, what? And then I get a little preachy. Because you are so caught up in whatever BS you're going through in your head right now that you can't even get my name right. And I will call them by their name 5 different times in this little speech. I'm picking on you, Joe, because you're here. So, Joe, we're about to end this conversation. What? Do that. Do the why for me.
What?
It's because, Joe, you're so caught up in whatever is going on in your head, whatever you're trying to do, that you can't even get my name right, Joe. And it's important that you got to interact with humans. If you can't do a basic interaction with me, Joe, then we can't do business or we can't hang out, can't be whatever. And that's it. And every once in a while, sometimes that's when I get up from the table and leave. And there was a sales call where the guy's name was Henry. And I had talked to him for like half an hour at this hotel bar. We're at a conference. And then we'd already been interacting in emails. And then he did the sales pitch. And he kept calling me Chuck. So I went, I don't know, Hank. I don't know what I emphasize it. After the third time he texted, I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I thought I heard somebody call you Chuck. It's like, yeah, no, I don't know how to make it more clear, but you do that one more time, we're shutting this down because come on.
Now, I will have to go on a little bit of a tangent. Don't find fault with parents who call their kids by the wrong name. I have called my kids each other's names so many times, and I think that is a common experience for just about every parent. That has multiple kids.
I mean, and animals and everything. Because truthfully, in the moment, your brain is going to probably, I'm guessing when you do it, is when I do it, which is when you're mad at one of the kids, or you're trying to say something, and you're feeling the emotions, and you're thinking about the thing, and all these things. And that's how I get, right? So everybody yeah. You with the face, type of deal.
I've said that to them sometimes. Those exact words.
That's such a white boy thing. I got it from my dad, so there you go. You're like my dad. But
hey,
Joe, Daddy, man, I feel for this kid. You don't even want to go by your full name because people. And it's not because people are messing it up. It's because you, as the mother, are not enforcing it. You're not backing your kid, and it's so core. What's the first thing when kids can meet each other and communicate? What's the first thing they usually do? Well, first they probably
find out each other's names.
Yeah. They'll go, you want to play? But they'll ask a name. What's your name? It's so cool because.
What's your name?
But oh man, it's a big deal because it's until we get to become adults. I mean, only in certain circumstances do I make it a bigger, like that sales thing. Like if you're going to try to sell me a $9,000-$10,000 a month product, get my name right.
Right.
Say my name. But that I don't want to make a big deal. Then you're not supporting your kid and you're not showing them value. And that's ultimately, I think, what her problem is not that people mess it up because they don't show value in her either, but because the one person she trusts, mom here, and who knows about dad, this is just from mom's perspective, doesn't have value her daughter enough to say, no, her name is Christine.
Yep. Yeah, my middle child, he used to go by a nickname and now wants to go by a different version of his actual name. And so every now and again, because I called him the other nickname for years, I still say it, and he tries to correct me, and I try to be more cognizant of it. But there's times when I'm like, I brought you into this world. I'll call you whatever I want.
Okay, and nicknames need to be natural, and a nickname that's natural when you're younger may not be natural when you're older. And just picking
Yes.
your own doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Rock out of podcasting. All right, Bob, you're good.
Well, just like
Rock Bob
someone-
of podcasting. That's your new nickname.
just like someone you mentioned Bob. So Robert has so many nicknames with it. Rob, Robbie, Bob, Bobby, Bobbert, all those.
Bobbert.
And so I've known people in my life who their given name is Robert. As a kid, they went by Robbie. As an adult, they went by Rob or Robert,
Sure.
or Bob, or your name and your the nickname that you choose often, if you use a nickname, often matures as you get older. So
Hey, let's take a live call.
okay.
Hey, welcome to Wise and Nerdy caller. First time caller, long time listener. What's up?
Oh, hey, it's me, Jimmy Alfred. I've been a
Phil.
long-time listener, first-time caller. Really excited to be part of the program. I just want to know, why is Joe's religion such a cult? And why does he still subscribe after the years showing that it's not actually true and God is dead?
Wow. Wow. I'll have to call you back later and lecture you on how right you are. All right. Talk
You know what? I'll take my answer off the air.
I mean,
All right. I'll call you later.
depending on your definition of cult, every religion is a cult. Just saying.
Phil, man. He goes swinging sometimes. Holy cow.
Oh, man.
All right. Roll some dice.
We've already done both of those. There we go.
Personal story time.
And honestly, everything's a cult in life. Podcasting can be a cult. I mean, it's yeah. All right. So personal story time. What we do? Mario and my kid. All right. Tell me that you're gonna relate to this story when I'm done saying it. So, kids are sponges, right?
Yeah.
And I've taught my kids right place, right time on things. And until something happens, you don't realize exactly what they're absorbing. And it might come as a surprise to many people that I've had a bit of a temper with video games.
What?
I know. I know. It surprises you that I could have a temper with video games. And I do not remember which version of Mario I was playing. I think it's either the Wii or the Wii U. And it just was so frustrating me. And it was all I could do not to throw the controller, right? Which they had the straps, so there was that. I couldn't really throw the controller because I'm always safety first.
As a kid, throwing the controller can feel rather cathartic. As an adult, you look at it and you're like, that is very expensive. No. No.
It can
Just
still
like-
feel cathartic. It just hurts your bank account later.
Just like people who drop microphones. Don't do that. Those are not cheap.
Oh no, I hate that. Yeah. It damages more than just a microphone, but that's neither here nor there. So, I said some choice four-letter words. I called Mario
Ooh.
some choice four-letter words, and both
Jerk.
Crosby and Oakland were there. I think they were 5 and 6, somewhere in that age range. And we'd already talked about language and this and that and the other, and I don't think they really understood the context that was in the moment. Okay. And I just, got mad. Stop playing the video game. 'Cause I do try to model, if If you get mad at the game, walk away from it. And the next day I'm at work and I'm at a desk and my wife calls and I get do you know what your son did? Now, let me tell you, we're not that couple. In fact, I going into the relationship, I grew up on TV. And so I was very much, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. All the stuff I was on TV, we're not doing these things. And that was one of them. Your son, your daughter, that blame game crap. But she goes, do you know what your son did? I was like, what? And she goes on to relay that it was one of the days that she was gone up to her mom's house and was hanging out with her mom before mom went to work and was going to stay with her brother. And he, of course, had the same game system and the same games and everything else. And Oka's sitting there playing. His little 5-6-year-old self is playing Mario. Mario dies. He pretty much word for word reenacts this scene from Hamilton that I did the day before of what he called Mario and how he hung his head and how he put the controller down, kind of forced it on the couch, but not throwing it, and walked away. And I'm sorry, I had tears. I was laughing so hard because it was a word that no kid before, well, nobody really should use, but definitely no kid should use. But hearing him say, hearing that he's imagining it, and it's cracking me up. I try to, and Erin's trying not to laugh. I'm laughing so hard I'm making her laugh. She's like, it's not funny. It's like, okay, your mom and your brother can. Well, I said a word about things you do with the straw. And I was like, they can do straw stuff, and because I don't care about them, and they know who I am. Secondly, babe, I understand what you're trying to say, and I will talk to him, and I will make sure not to do that behavior. But come on, that was funny. That was hilarious. And I mean, I was laughing so hard, my desk mates are like, what is going on? And I had to relay that story to him too. So very much, I did so many other things. I'd said so many other words. I had been angry and yelling at people. I've done so many other things that they did not model. But in less than 24 hours, he tried to reenact Mario and my expletives, and he did it masterfully, apparently. So that was very interesting experience. So have you, at least as a dad, can you tell me you can relate to that, even if you don't have a similar story?
I can do one better. I can play an instance here live.
Oh no! Okay.
So here we go. This comes from a angry while driving, and this is something
I remember this one. Yeah.
that Jebediah picked up.
Go, you moron!
So obviously that's relatively tame, but like you said, kids are just gonna repeat whatever you say. So you've got to be careful.
That's the thing. It's not always true that way. Because I'd said so many other things that he'd repeat.
I think it's good to just assume that they will. But yeah, no. And there's definitely times when you're like, can't you repeat some of the good stuff? I asked you to do the dishes. You didn't remember, or stuff like that. But yeah, they always remember the things that you don't want them to remember.
And I know my wife was embarrassed, but I reminded her who she was. I'm like, okay, because at this point you're talking about we probably were married at least 10 years rather, because we waited 5 years before we even had Oakland, and he was old enough to talk and play video games. So 5, 6. So you're talking about we've been married. Your family knows who I am. Your family knows who you are, and they know you talk like that too. So it's not. Let's not make that a big deal. Let's make sure they call my kid by the right name. That's a big deal. But yeah, it has not happened since. But it cracked me up, man. So what about something that somebody tried to get mad about? Maybe you don't have this yet because your oldest is 12, I think. But maybe Malachi did say something, and somebody's like, oh, I can't believe you said that, and you had the face you have now, like, I don't care. Do you have one of those stories?
I mean, I told it on the show a few weeks back, but there was an instance where my oldest hurt my youngest, and I was in a different room, but I heard the crying, and I knew what type of crying it was. And I was in a foul mood anyway, and I walked in there and I said, "What the hell did you do?" And he was like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "You heard me." And so the rest of the day, he went around to every single adult. "Do you know what Dad said?"
He said.
So yeah,
but that's funny.
It jarred him because it's not what he's used to hearing. And like in my own life, when my dad started swearing, you knew you were in trouble. It's not like he hadn't already asked us, 5 different times to take care of something, to do our chores. But when he started swearing, you're like, "Ooh, I better get in line."
Same kind of with education. Whenever I'm lecturing for mainly EMT class, when I'm lecturing EMTs, I don't use colorful language. I mean, I definitely paint colorful pictures, but I don't use 4-letter words, except I can only think of like twice in it's a 40 chapter lecture, and each some chapters are multiple lectures, so it's a lot of recording. So it's very, very small percentile of the time that I was like, it's appropriate to use 4-letter word. This will get you effed up if you do this type of deal. So and then it brings that gravitas home, right? You very rarely use it. And that was the thing I learned in comedy, was it's easy to swear. It's funnier and more creative to come up with other ways to say the same thing, which I still am working on.
Well, and in comedy, dropping a swear at the right time can be hilarious. Like I think of The Ringer, when they drop, "When the F did we get ice cream?"
Which was an ad-lib.
It was an ad-lib, and that is still one of my favorite F-bombs dropped in a PG-13 movie.
Because you get 2, and it just was the right moment.
Back then you got 1.
Back then you got 1, okay. It was the right moment. That's a great one. I saw TikTok this morning. A girl had to be 3 years old, whatever. And Mom's like, "What? Okay, say that again. What'd you say?" And she goes, "I'm tired. I want to take an effing nap." But she said the whole word, right? Just as innocent could be. And Mom's laughing. Like, "Don't say it. That's a bad word." And daughter's like, dead serious. "No, it's not. It's not a bad word." She said, "Yeah, it is." Like, "No, that isn't a bad." Dad's laughing too. Like, "No, it's a bad word." He's like, "I don't know. I just want to take an effing nap." It just walked away, But she didn't. So they had used it, and never said, "Hey, don't say this." That's other. You got to teach your kids what are bad words, and I did not,
because they're gonna hear them. They are gonna hear them, and we've had this conversation with our kids a bunch. When we're watching a movie, we're like, "This movie is gonna say words that we don't say. These are words that we do not use."
And then it was all in Spanish.
and we've gone even a step further with them and said, if it's something you don't understand, don't use it until you know what it means. And even then,
that's a good one.
There's different times where you don't want to use it anyway. But if you don't know what it means, don't use it. So.
Yeah, no kidding, man. All right. I'm going to take a little bit of control here so we don't use the dice, because I want to end on nerding out about, because I don't like ending on the commercial.
Makes sense.
But let's get the commercial in. Oh, it's dramatic. In a world where you have lots of money that you need to give to us, go to patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy. Join the cult of Daddios today. That's it. We are the cult of Daddios. Back to character.
Worry, we don't drink Kool-Aid.
That's right. We can only afford Flavor Aid with what you're donating. Come join. Stop stuffing! Come join the cult of Daddios today. Right now, in the poll to be favorite, we have Jebediah leading the charge. He's so freaking cute. We've got Bob, who really nailed the tagline. Brought to you by Bob. And we got Malachi, who's a teenager. He doesn't care anymore.
It's true. Yeah, now we need to have a redirect. wisenerdy.com/cult of Daddios or Daddios cult that just redirects to Patreon.
And we know that after your 3 kids, then it becomes Ryland, Zoe, and the other 2 are adults. They don't count anymore. And Phil.
And Phil.
All right, man. We've got some show business to handle. What is that business, sir?
Yeah, we do. All right. You can head on over to wiseandnerdy.com/calldad to leave a speak pipe. The question of the week for August 7th, yes, August 7th, was requested by Bob. So brought to you by Bob. Here is the question of the week.
My favorite fruit is honeydew because
Oh, nope.
That's not a question,
That's not
dude.
it.
Come on, Bob.
I
Come
think
on, Bob.
a cool question of the week would be, what is your favorite fruit?
There it is.
Rob Roberts.
I clicked the wrong Rob.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. I misunderstood the assignment. I do love Rob Roberts.
Flame me on all over again.
Flame me on all over again. We're going to get canceled on iTunes.
So what's your favorite fruit? That's the question for August 7th. But in addition to that, we do have quite a few speak pipes for tonight from the one and only Devocite. The first two are from last week's question of the week, which was, what's your favorite movie quote? So let's hear what Devo has to say.
Well, it's not my favorite. I'll actually leave a second one on that one. That's a whole other conversation. But I'm going to use my son. He's 18 now. Wouldn't be his favorite quote, but at the time it was. It was the first movies he sat through were the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies.
Okay.
And we're walking into Taco Bell. I mean, he's maybe like a kindergartner, first grade. I don't know what he is. He's very young. And we walk in, and there's these two girls sitting there talking to each other, 10, 11, maybe. And he walks by, and he turns to them, and he goes, "Hello, ladies." They lost it. Their hands were up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like he's talking to them. And this little 6-year-old completely just floored these little girls. And it was so funny, which were obviously much older than him. And so, yes, hello, ladies.
That's
and
great.
To this day, it's one of my favorite moments. And now he's 18, and those moments are gone, man.
He's no longer a smooth talker. He grew out of his confident phase. But if he heads on over to Wisent, he can take Charles's classes and gain that confidence right back. He'll teach him how to say "hello, ladies" again. All right. We've got another one from Devo.
My favorite movie quote is from the 1987 B movie, Death Row Game Show. And guy's sitting at a desk, and he hears from the bathroom someone yell, "Walnuts? I don't remember eating walnuts." Yeah.
So random.
Say, but it stuck, and
yeah,
my brother and I still quote each other, and it's, good luck finding it, by the way. I think it's almost impossible to find.
I don't think Joe's going to look for it.
No.
One of my favorites on those lines is, "Who does number 2 work for?" from Austin Powers. That's right, buddy. You tell him. Can we get a courtesy flush though?
Oh man, what was I'm trying to remember what the name of the movie was. His statement made me think of one. It's like, "Where are you going, Music Man?" And it's from a movie with a dog and the guy had
Man.
Well, so the dog had bit the guy, and he decided he needed prosthetics, metal prosthetics.
Oh,
Clink,
yeah.
clink,
Tink,
clink,
tink.
clink.
Beethoven. It's Beethoven.
No, it's not Beethoven.
Not Beethoven?
It's not. No.
I remember the scene, because that's at the very end. He has 2. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah,
Something
then
like
he's
that,
got the super high voice.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't.
I don't remember the movie either. Yeah.
I've looked it up several different times because my family references, and I just, for whatever reason, I can't.
You're
I
right.
can't
Beethoven
retain
never
the knowledge.
bit anybody, but yeah.
But yeah,
Beverly Hills Chihuahua, maybe.
No.
All right, play the next one. You'll think of it.
Yeah, I'll think of it. I'll figure it out. All right, so this is from Devo again.
Joe, Charles.
Yes.
Devo.
Good Thursday. I actually took off this week. And I was actually sick a lot of last week. And I can't tell you how happy I was to be sick last week, because whatever is going around, I got out of the way, because what would be worse than getting sick the week of or going into around Dragon Con?
That would
How
suck.
bummer would that be for me to miss
Yeah.
my first Dragon Con because of sickness? So
Oh no, you're not
got it
missing.
out of
Just
the way.
mask up.
Now, you also got it. I mean, I feel bad for you, and I really feel bad for anybody who gets it into around or anything around Dragon Con, because that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So, talk to you guys later.
Dragon Con is going to be a lot of fun.
We've got to discuss Dragon Con logistics when you're here this weekend. Joe Garland, who is the second on the comic track over in the vendor hall, basically. She's also in my compatriots, the spokesperson team, the media relations team. Day one of Dragon Con, she got like sick and had stayed in her hotel room the whole week because she was around to answer questions on text, but she's isolated. That's rough. That's rough. You got another one?
Yeah, we do have another one, but before we get to that, the movie was C Spot Run.
I don't remember that name. Obviously, I saw it, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Other than the clink, clink, clink. That's all I remember.
Clink, clink. Where are you going, Music Man? I'm going to catch you out in the yard. Catch me outside. How about that?
Stupid.
So my wife says to me, hey, I just saw your dude, Jensen, the guy.
Jensen Ackles?
And I crush on. I'm like, who are you talking about? And Jensen. And I guess you're watching some show in late night. And she said, Jensen, those guys that, they went around killing demons.
John, do you not know this show?
Sam and Dean, well, I guess it'd be Dean Winchester. Yeah, the Winchester brothers. Yeah. And she said, yeah, that bromance you had. I'm like, that was a good show, man. And I kind of laughed about it. But apparently they're talking about doing a reboot of it, which I'd be cool with. Okay. And Charles, you and I we're in a small fan club. Mm-hmm. And I just have to say, it was a great show.
It really was.
Yeah, I mean, I could be misogynistic, so they had some pretty nice co-stars too. But particularly, I don't know, just the camber and the tone of the show was just, I don't know, it was just fun. Yeah, and I enjoyed it also. So you and I, man, I guess we're naturals. What is that? Would be supernatural. God, what are they called? Anyway, well, I don't really care. I like Supernatural. Go.
He kind of sideswiped the dad joke in there a little bit. For a second, I thought he was going to tell me he didn't know the show, and I was ready to go. Okay, we're about to
finish that at
him.
some point. I haven't finished it. I'm on like season 10.
It tells me it tells me everything I need to know about you, sir. That's all.
They made an anime, so I should definitely watch that, right?
If you can find it, I tried finding it again. Originally I found it on the high seas of the internet. And I tried to find it legit, which I don't have anymore. And I tried to find it legitimately, and I could not find it on Crunchyroll or Funimation or anything.
Really,
yeah, Supernatural anime.
I
would love. At the time, I was not ready for it because I was not into anime, and I was expecting something different. And it was really weird because this active show at the time is really weird to hear their actual voices coming out of anime characters, not just animation slapped on the real people kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ready for it, but I'd like to actually go through that. But yeah, Netflix, man. Netflix has got all 15 seasons of Supernatural. You can watch on demand. That's right.
There you go.
And as you're demon hunting, Joe, you need to hunt down that grilled cheese steak burrito from Taco Bell right now for $5.99. It'll satisfy all your cravings and even some of your bloodlust.
and prep you for a colonoscopy.
Any more?
No. That is all of them for tonight. But if you want to get your voice on the show, head on over to wiseandnerdy.com/calldad, where it lists the upcoming questions of the week. So if you don't have something specific that you wanted to call in about, like for instance, call in and suggest a Parliament of Papas discussion or something of that accord, there are those list of questions that you could answer one of those.
Am I the dad hole?
Am I the
Is that
dad
the new?
hole?
Is that the new one? Am I the dad hole?
Oh
I, don't know.
my!
I think we got something with Cult of Daddy-O's. I think we're on to something there, Joe.
The cod.
Yeah, that's our
Don't be a
Patreon.
cod piece.
Oh, that's a new. Am I the butt face? Don't be a cod piece. Oh my god! All right. So nerding out, man. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first. That's fine.
All right. Let me guess. The Water Magician is about Dune and the Arrakis. 100% anime about the life of Iraqians that you don't see in the movies.
After they get all the water back on the planet and whatnot. Yeah.
No.
No, beforehand.
Before, when it's still just straight desert. This is actually, I take it back. This
You'd be
is
so
an
OP
anime.
on that world if you
This
could get
isn't-
water. Just saying.
This is an anime. I don't hear about your pee. This is an anime about Jawas.
Okay. Those moisture farmers.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It is an anime. It's only got 3 episodes so far. It's a brand new anime this season, but it is shaping up to be a very good anime. The animations are solid. It is an isekai. So for those that don't remember, an isekai is a portal
Some other
fantasy,
world,
generally summoned to another world. So he died and was reborn into another world, and he has water magic. And so far it's been really, really good. It hasn't been super tropey like a lot of the isekai can be. And it's fun. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. It's a solid watch. Now, they can definitely bungle it up since I've only watched 3 episodes, but out of all the ones that I try a lot of anime at each season, and within a few episodes, I know whether I'm gonna finish the anime or whether I'm gonna drop it or not. Usually,
Sure. Yeah.
and this is the one that out of all the ones so far this season, the one that I'm most excited to watch throughout the week, with a close second being Rise of the Shield Hero season 4. So.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about the text chain I sent you at like midnight the other night.
Joe, are you even listening to me? Joe! I was just like, what?
I was
What's
doing
going
some
on?
rude comments. I was like, I don't know, I might actually be pissing him off because it was literally I think I said your name 7 times, but it's a separate text every time. And then that's like, Joe, did you know they're gonna make are you even listening to me? And I bombard. It's like 15 texts, and finally went, LOL.
I was actually recording a video that eventually I'm going to edit and drop onto Assorted Geekdom. So
Okay, very cool.
I was ignoring my phone altogether.
Yeah, I like I said, I almost said some rude comments, but I didn't. But yeah, so right now, that's all about Solo Leveling is getting a live action treatment, which got me super excited, and then immediately
Until you remembered that it's going to be horrible.
probably because these live action ones don't.
Well,
I don't know, man. It's so big though. It's so big, and it's so not weird. Like it's as normal as you can get with being what it is, right?
So they can do it. They could do it well. They really, really could. But they probably won't, because what they tend to do with these live actions is they'll take a 20-ish episode arc and they'll try to condense it down to 5 episodes. And I'm just like, why? Why?
Think...
You screw the pacing up so bad.
Okay, but having gone to the debut of season 2 at a theater where they basically make an hour and a half long movie out of the first season, just to like, remind you of the highlights. I'm like, they could do multi parts of the first season. Absolutely. I think it should be a Korean TV series. That's what I think should do it. I think it should be Korea that makes it, because they make great TV series, in my opinion. And it should be a TV series. But even if it's a movie, you could theoretically do the whole thing, the first season in one movie, because the high points really tell the story well. But you got to get that first opening segment shot for shot, just about. You can't chits on that.
They could do a good job, but by bracing myself for it being horrible, I am opening myself to being pleasantly surprised. So, tempering your expectations can go a long way for your mental health.
That's true. So I was a little harsh on Kurt earlier, but that's part of my humor. And also, I've been thinking about him a lot lately. I just put down Kurt's World as what I'm nerding out about, because it's all just kind of come together in little pieces over the last couple of weeks. Is Belatro, like I talked about a little bit, but all of a sudden, like I didn't go search anything. All of a sudden, Belatro. Oh, I want to read that out. It's still active for Kurt's widow. GoFund.me/D as in dog 820E lowercase e 0FC. All right, that will also be in our notes. I understand what I just read off might not get you there. Go to the notes, click on the link, give to Kurt. Kurt's family. It's going to help out. But all of a sudden, YouTube videos started popping up of, oh, I had this cool thing happen in Belatro. I'm like, well, I like cool things in Belatro. I'll watch it. And then I started learning a few things that I just never grasped of how to play the game. And let me tell you, man, now I wouldn't say I'm sailing through it when I am playing it. Before, when Kurt was alive, that's just 4 times, that's all I'm saying, is I was just always stuck on like the first 2 difficulties and couldn't unlock half the decks. And I would ask him for tips, and that was just the thing he couldn't communicate to me. But, in the afterlife, he's like, here, let me tell you some videos, bud. I got you. And so I just started understanding the game better. Now, man, like the first 2 decks, I have 8 out of like the 10 difficulties open. I have all but 1 deck open. I get it. And I'm loving it even more. And it's so much fun. Then I talked about a couple weeks ago, Marvel Mystic Mayhem came out, and it absolutely would be a game right up his alley, because he played every Marvel game that came around. And this one I think he would have just jumped on, because it is so easy to manage. It is a different style. It's very much strategy and picking the right 3 characters to put together. And then there's got to be a term for this type of game where it's a multi-stage level and it's at an angle and you start hearing you're fighting, and then they like run to the next section of the level on their own, right? You're not guiding it. You're hitting. You can do an auto play, or you're hitting which attacks as they come up in time. And some of the characters they're doing there, I just think he would love the art style. He would love all of that. And it hits all the notes for me. So I'm enjoying. Those are the 2 games I'm playing all the time right now, is Belatro and Mystic Mayhem and Monopoly Go.
Which you pointed it out this last week, and I noticed it about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, how he's no longer playing Belatro on Discord.
Oh yeah, somebody shut his computer down. Yeah. Yep. So I did just catch that the other day. I happened to look for it and saw it. But then today,
but yeah, he hit over like 8,000 hours, because Discord will show how long you've been doing the activity, and he got to like over 8,000 hours on there. It showed of him playing Belatro.
So he's not quite good enough to take out Vegeta. Got it. But that's an over 9,000 joke for those at home. Today I'm hustling everything, right? My last consulting gig ended, and the last payment came in for that, and I've got some money stored away, and everything else. I got a couple possible consulting gigs coming up, and everything's like a tomorrow conversation. We're almost there, and I'm trying to find ways to patch all the holes. Lyft is not enough, and honestly, I keep getting pulled away from driving Lyft to go edit a video, because I can get paid $100 if I get this thing put up and taken care of, those kind of things. And I got on voice.com or voiceover.com, something like that. And today I recorded a test sample. Now, right now, I'm only interested in, because I don't think I'm good enough. You always got to get past what you don't think you are to figure out what you are. And I'm volunteering to get paid, like it's a paid gig, to train AI. Like there are companies that are legitimately going, we're hiring you to do this in your natural voice. It's this many words. We'll pay you this much money. It'll be used solely to train AI ethically. It's not used for broadcast. We're not going to use your voice as AI, blah, blah. Cool. You know how much I love AI, and now how much I love ethics because it lines up. And I can get paid
when
for
they
it.
take over the world, you can be like, look, I'm your daddy. I trained
Yeah. The AI takes over like, we're the cult of the daddy-os. We are part of that cult.
you. Don't be a codpiece.
No, man, God, me. And so in recording, it had to be, because I cannot imagine how this plays into training AI, period. Because it's all about your natural voice. But it has to be like a standard script that they hand out just to make sure you record well, you can speak well enough. Because I had to keep going through all the lines, and it was like, read it in a breathless whisper, then shout this, then sneeze, and I'm going through all the different aspects, not changing my voice, but giving those intonations. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool to call up Kurt, like, hey, here's the script. Can you give me your take on it? I just kind of want to understand that I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, knowing that it's not really going to be used. But it's interesting to me how much grief he gave me and how much I gave him. And we love to hate each other sometimes. And there was really no hate. I mean, there was always love, but Joe will attest, even on there, we would at each other a little bit. This is who we were. But it's very interesting how much he has influenced or lines up with the things I like and do. So that's what I'm nerding out about this week. And it's been fun. So, all right, we gotta come up with a good, like, cult sign off to end the shows now, like a special chant that we do. I don't know. How do you? I don't go to cult.
Boy.
Is that the cult sign off? Hit it again. Hit it again.
Got my cheese whiz boy.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
And may
Shut
your
up, Mike.
cheese whiz always be abundant.
Worst dad joke ever.
Grandpappy said he was ashamed of me.